don't ask for it, you just leave it now.
Thank you very much, Phil, for that introduction. And to begin with, I'd like to give my thanks to the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan for hosting me again. This is my second time here, and I'm very honored, actually, to have this opportunity to speak again, not only as the chair of the Democratic Progressive Party, but as the party's presidential candidate. Today I would like to address the Taiwan-Japan relationship, our approach to China, and of course you may be very interested in the upcoming elections in Taiwan. They are only a little more than 3 months ahead until the election. And many people ask me why I choose to travel at this time to countries and places where most people cannot vote for me. The fact is, the DPP has always put great emphasis on our international relations and our obligation to engage with the world. This obligation does not stop during busy election times. And Japan is one of Taiwan's most important partners in the region. And although this is a short visit, this is a meaningful demonstration of our commitment to reinforcing our bilateral relationship. Japan has a unique historical and cultural relationship with Taiwan. And it continues to occupy a special place in the emotions of the Taiwanese people. 12 years ago, when Taiwan was hit by one of the most serious earthquakes in our history, Japanese rescue workers were the first foreigners to come to our assistance. Likewise, when Japan suffered through the earthquake and tsunami disaster this March, the people of Taiwan wept in sympathy with the Japanese people. And Taiwan's private donations for aid and assistance to Japan were larger than any other country in the world. It is often in times of tragedy that true friendship is demonstrated, and the affinity that exists between the peoples of Taiwan and Japan illustrates the tight relationship that our two countries share. This relationship is molded through history, trade, culture, travel, and interpersonal interactions. But it is also based on common interests. We both have interests in maintaining peace and stability, in ensuring that democratic values flourish, and in promoting economic recovery and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region. We're living in an increasingly complex world where there are multiple global and internal challenges for all of us. Energy shortage, nuclear safety, the financial crisis, growth stagnation, income disparities, aging societies, and the cost of social services, and new non-traditional security issues. At the same time, there are systemic changes where emerging powers impact the U.S.-led world order in ways that remain uncertain. It is obvious that these uncertainties transcend national boundaries and are increasingly complex. And any solutions must involve multi-level cooperation. Taiwan and Japan already have a profound and comprehensive relationship, but more efforts need to be invested in reinforcing our bilateral ties. Our hope is that these efforts must be consistent regardless of which party is in government on either side. The DPP's commitment to strengthen the relationship even in opposition, our interests and efforts to deepen the ties have not ceased. In particular, with regard to Japan, we have emphasized the following elements: security, democracy, economy and trade, and travel and other areas of interaction in our broader national security strategy. Now, let's talk about security. The first element is the security element. We see the Japan-US Security Alliance as a cornerstone for peace and stability in East Asia. Although we're not a formal part of this alliance, the strength and effectiveness of the alliance has a critical impact on our interests. We believe a strong alliance will serve to sustain a strategic balance in the region, as we all facing the increasing challenges of an expanding and more aggressive Chinese militaries, whose intentions are not entirely transparent, at least for the time being. No country can cope with this challenge alone, and neither is an arms race in any party's interest. It is therefore important to involve all parties to communicate and dialogue, to manage territorial disputes in a peaceful and rational way, to ensure the freedom of navigation, and to enhance transparency in military modernization. And while we all work to decrease the possibility of escalating tensions, it is important to always bear in mind that peace must be backed by strength and a commitment to enhancing our defense. Now, democracy, that is the second element of our relationship. Democracy and justice are common values that link our societies together. Democracy is the foundation for peace that allows our peoples to pursue prosperity and development in a free environment. Japan is the leading democracy in East Asia, and Taiwan is a new and maturing democracy. While we both face internal challenges and are working to enhance good and effective governance, we must also strengthen networks between democracies in Asia and work to support the growth of civil societies in countries where democratic institutions are not yet in place. Now, economy and trade. The third element is, of course, in our relationship is economy and trade. Taiwan's economic relationship with Japan extends deep and back to the colonial days, when basic infrastructure was created to serve as a foundation for growth and development over the last century. In recent decades, industry and economy have evolved largely in a complementary way among our two societies, and the relationship has been one of the mutual benefits. As economies around the world struggle to recover from the financial crisis, both our economies face internal challenges of creating new jobs and stimulating growth. Externally, we face a situation where the global axis of economic growth is shifting towards emerging powers, and we need to establish balanced economic relations where growth that is dependent on links with the emerging powers is balanced by adequate management of the risk involved. For example, in regards to our government's signing this economic pact with China, which is usually called ECFA, the trade agreement with China. Many people in Taiwan have expressed concerns that rapid integration without adequate global diversification would deepen Taiwan's dependence on China. Therefore, we seek to strengthen our economic links with other major partners, including Japan. With Japan, we already have a strong foundation, and we hope that Japan also understands that it is with our mutual interest to prevent the further marginalization of Taiwan, and to have Taiwan well integrated into the regional trade architecture that is being formed, whether it is an APEC-based free trade agreement or the TPP, that is Trans-Pacific Partnership. Now I want to talk as the fourth element, that is travel and interaction.